Ladies and gentlemen, another step index 1 setup queue where we'll be taking this 20 USD to over 100 USD. But it didn't end well, so watch closely and try to identify where you think I went wrong. So the exact amount we started with is 24.96 USD, 24 USD, and we move to the weekly chart. That's where we start off our analysis, and we can see the break of structure below that low. So when it broke structure, it's supposed to return to an order block and then continue shooting down, but it did not do that. Instead, what it did is it invalidated the bearish order block and then went up to wipe above that high. So it wiped, it grabbed liquidity and then started reacting down. And the reason it also reacted is because of that fair value gap, which it filled halfway because it hit the weekly breaker block. So it had to react shooting down, wiped, filled the fair value gap, and then hit the weekly breaker block. So it has to go down to fill that imbalance that it created as it was going to wipe or to grab liquidity above that high. So that's our bias. And if I identify the weekly order block that it has already filled, and you can see that it has already hit, and you can see the immediate rebalance that happened there, and after the immediate rebalance it hit the weekly order block that we had identified. So price has to shoot down to at least fill that fair value gap or the imbalance below. So now when you look at the way price reacted after it wiped, you can tell there is sort of a channel. So the channel might be in support of the bullish. It can shoot down, can continue doing the channel, and then hit the breaker block or fill the fair value gap or imbalance and then continue shooting up. That's what we see. So let's now look closer at what it did when it was wiping. That's on the daily. It formed an SMS or shifting market structure, and then it went down to break structure below that low. And then after it broke structure below the low, it hit the daily order block. And after it hit the daily order block, it shot down to break structure on that low as well. And it kept on doing that because it's a channel. So it broke structure, went up, filled the fair value gap, and then it hit the daily order block as well. Now because it's a channel, it continued doing the same thing as it has been doing, which is respect a bearish order block or a bearish institutional reference point and then shoots down to drop. So it hit that 4-hour order block and then it went, but it did it after it formed a stop hunt. So after that, it broke structure below that low, and after the break of structure, we can see it sort of consolidated or formed its own channel while it went to form a stop hunt and then hit the 4-hour order block. So I've noticed what step index likes doing right now is almost most of the times what it does is it forms a stop hunt. Usually most of the times first forms a stop hunt and then it rallies down, like it makes a massive drop down, or maybe it's just the fact that it's a channel. So this is what I've noticed about step index: stop hunt and then it shoots down. So on the 30 minute there's a break of structure there, and then another stop hunt, but yeah, we had covered it on the 1 hour and higher time frames, and then it made a break of structure. So it made a break of structure there, and what we expect it to do is, there's another break of structure or a liquidity grab that is currently forming right now. So we expect it to shoot back up to the 30-minute order block, and then it continues shooting down. Now if you can see, there is also like that 30-minute order block. If you can notice, it also formed sort of like a channel on its way up, and I think I'd covered it. So it's sort of like a break and retest, isn't it? So it's headed for that sell side liquidity. Now that sell side liquidity, if you see before it formed that low, there's sort of those lows that are a bit above that high. I'll show you guys. I'll mark it out. So here I was placing my sell limits. I think I entered about 4 of them, which is not bad because yeah, I expected this trade to be more precise. So yeah, I entered a bit strong. I think I should have even entered. Nah, it's okay. I think the amount of positions I entered here, they're fair for the amount that we had in the account. So I was aiming for the 3 lows that I'm going to mark out about now. So yeah, I was aiming for price to reach for those 3 equal lows which contain sell side liquidity. So price was just gonna grab the liquidity below those low, and then maybe if it wants to keep on shooting down, it will keep on shooting down. If it wants to reverse and shoot up, it will. So this is the afterwards. Price was at 30 USD profit. It wasn't a lot and I wasn't satisfied, so I started looking for like more ways to enter again for like re-entry. So we can see that price raided that high, and it raided stops, like buy stops and sell stops in form of stop losses and sell limits. So it raided our sell limit stops, and then afterwards what it did is it formed a BOS there after it did sort of like a wipe above that high and then break structure. So you see I didn't mark it out. So after it broke structure, price went back up, but this time it formed a stop hunt again and it hit the 5-minute breaker block. And yeah, of course it went up again to hit another 5-minute breaker block as well. So it hit 2 5-minute breaker blocks here, and it caused price to shoot down aggressively, and it was headed for that. Yeah, it was headed for those lows. So it broke structure, and now what we expect price to do after it breaks structure is we expect price to shoot back up and shoot down to at least that sell side liquidity. So it's gonna shoot back up and fill the imbalance or the fair value gap there, and then afterwards it continues shooting down from there. So that's where I decided to place my sell limit re-entries, and yeah, you can see I'm placing the sell limits there, and yeah, now this is afterwards, and afterwards you can see price hit our re-entry sell limits and it went down, it shot down, and we're in big profits. Yeah, we doubled the amount that we had at that time. We're in 90 USD profits. I was thinking of closing, but because I had a target which were those 3 equal lows, I had to keep the trade running for the sake of, you know, the trade and our objectives. And afterwards you can see now it just reversed on us. Price went back, and then yeah, it started, got margin called, and the account unfortunately blew. The reason behind us blowing, I don't know why. Maybe it reached for the daily rejection, maybe, because that's where it's at. But when I currently looked right now, as I make this video, yeah, it's still shooting up. The reason, I don't know. If you guys have something you can, you know, add in the comment section, do so that, you know, we improve. But yeah, this is the video. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.